Hi everyone, Katie here. Welcome back to another layout video. Today I am excited to be participating in the 30 Days of Sketches Scraptember day 12. You can see the sketch up there in the corner. And then the prompt was cut files. So I'm using a cut file of a mountain. This is from, I believe, A Girl and a Glue Gun. I've had it forever, just haven't used it. But now I've got actual pictures of a mountain. So I thought I would use it. So these are pictures of Raya, the tallest, or I guess the highest elevation we were on our trip to Peru. And you can see the beautiful snow-capped mountain there, and a picture of my husband and I. So I want to have my photos matted on black paper, just a very thin mat, in order to kind of differentiate the photos from the background. And I decide that I'm going to put the actual photo of the mountain peak in like the peak of the cut file. So I kind of play around with some of that. You saw that earlier in the video too. I know it's a little weird. It's not exactly like backing a cut file or anything like that, but I really like how it turns out, and I also think that it kind of highlights the photos, or at least the photo of the mountain peak, and you can really tell that it's the peak of a mountain in the peak of a mountain, and I really like how that looks. So you can see I only added adhesive on the bottom part of the mountain cut file. Now I did this for two reasons. One, so that I could adjust my photo that I wanted to go inside of it. And the second, you'll see later in the video, I decided to actually pop that a little bit up on foam, just to kind of give it some dimension and just more visual interest. I think it, just makes it kind of gives it a pop, So I have my photos down, and I know in the sketch there's another piece of paper, and clearly I did not do a heart, I used a different kind of cut file, but it has that one like background paper in the very back, and then there's another piece kind of toward the right of it. So I'm thinking I'm gonna do that, but kind of also make it my journaling box. So I take out my 6x8 paper pad from Simple Stories. It's called the Simple Vintage Great Escape. It's one I got in their recent warehouse box. And while, overall, my first thought of it is that it's not really my style and I don't love it, but it's double-sided paper, and I'm finding that I love the B-sides. And I really love this color that I pull out of there. It's actually like a map of a national park, but it's very subtle. So I just write over top of it as I'm making it a little journaling card. And I use my little fringe, notebook fringe edge punch on it just to make it look like it is, maybe out of a field notebook or something like that. So in order to, fully commit to that idea, I am getting out my Thickers ruler and my clear sparkly Jelly Roll pen, and I'm going about every 1/4 of an inch and drawing a line, like notebook lines. I must say the 1/4 of an inch spacing varies a little bit, while my grid mat, the green mat that I do all my scrapping on top of, has 1/4 of an inch lines for me. I don't think I do the best job following them, but it all works out. It's all about 1/4 of an inch, and I'm not that nitpicky. If someone wants to go through and measure my journaling lines and see that they're not perfectly straight or perfectly evenly spaced, then you know what, that is fine. It doesn't bother me enough to fix it or throw away this box and make another one or anything like that. But I do go ahead and do my journaling here. It was just about our trip. This was part of our drive to Cusco from Puno in Peru. And we stopped here just for a few minutes to check out the mountain and take some pictures and just kind of bask in its glory. This also happened to be the highest elevation that we were at for our whole trip, so it was 14,271 feet above sea level, which is crazy. To me, living in Kentucky, where we're like 400 feet above sea level, pretty big difference there. So, yeah, it was really cool. Very beautiful to see the snow-capped mountains. That's not something I had ever seen before. So really quite fantastic. And then you saw I popped up just that little bit on foam dots, and it's hard to see now here in the video, but there is dimension to it. So the place we stopped was called Raya, and I really thought about using some thickers or alphabet stickers, but you know what? That's 3 A's. And I hate to think about things that way because I'm such a, use your stash kind of person. However, I find that using 3 A's at once really makes using your stash kind of tough because you're almost out of A's, right? So I decided to get out that Simple Stories paper pad again and find a piece that I thought would be good for me to cut my own letters out. I use my Cricut Cuttlebug to do this, and then I also have, my die set is from Momenta, and it does not seem to have a specific name, but it is one that came from Hobby Lobby a couple years ago, and I really like it. So I'm fixing up how I want to spell out, Raya, and I was really debating on whether I wanted the, L-A portion to go up above. Did I want it to go out to the left? And ultimately, I decided to put it there on the left as it is. And then I thought that kind of began the diagonal line for your eyes to follow. Now, obviously, I needed to do some embellishing and adding to in order to really create that diagonal line. But I thought if I kind of shifted that a little bit over to the left, then it kind of brings your eyes down in a diagonal way from the title. Now, I know I need to put something up in the top left corner in order to, really exaggerate that diagonal line. And it is ultimately very subtle, but, I like how it turns out. And I just really felt like it was an enamel dot kind of layout. So I get out these little enamel dots to save them for when I figure out exactly what I'm doing. And I also get out my paper studio. It's called Wonderlust. It's a sticker book. It's definitely intended for journaling, but there are a lot of scrapbook kind of stickers in here as well. So I kind of build up a little corner flag kind of embellishment cluster by using 4 or 5 different stickers from that sticker book. Now they are all very flat and very thin. I thought about popping up a few of them on little foam squares, but since they are journaling stickers, they're just too thin, to be quite frank. So I leave that as a flat cluster, but I do add a little enamel dot up there in the corner to try to give it just a little bit of texture. Now, I really like what I've done with my layout. I feel like I do have that visual line, but there's too much naked space. So I take my Heidi Swap Color Shine in mustard and just kind of sprinkle it about. And that will finish up my layout. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.